Yo, it's Metal Gear here. First time in a long time on the channel that we have a replay video for you, and we're here at Kyoto Driving Park, Miyabi in the Mini Cooper, and just going through the grid now. We have Bug Army starting on pole. This is Nations Cup, by the way. Captain Muffin in second. In third place was IXG Inxile GTR, Inxile GTR. Fourth place, myself, Metal Gear, and fifth place, not to confuse you, is Metal Gear. So those are the five main players that you're going to see throughout this video, and this video is going to be a little bit different for my replay videos than usual, in that I'm going to stay on board throughout the whole race with myself, and that's for two reasons. The first reason is I just want you to experience this race how I experienced it through my eyes, and the second is that one driver through this race was streaming the race, and he unfortunately got a few things wrong about what was happening kind of around him, and I ended up getting the blame for a few different things that transpired, and I just would really like to clear the air. So we're gonna basically ride on board with me throughout this whole race. I will speed it up through sections, but you will see it all there. We'll have a few replays. Anyway, so first lap, we are in the slipstream and come down to this hairpin. This is really the only braking place on the track. It's a very short track. The Mini Cooper doesn't have a lot of speed, and really the name of the game here is you just want to stay in the slipstream as much as possible and work together in order to pull. Really the name of the game here. So what you're going to see a lot of in this race is me simply following behind this kind of front pack, because it was my strategy for this race as we speed it up to stay out of trouble as much as possible. So we're going to come into this hairpin on the second lap, and this is the kind of trouble that you want to avoid. So they're kind of fighting through there. I get much better exit, and we end up going through side by side, and a little bit of contact there with an Inxile GTR. And now on his stream, he thought that I had given him a huge shove. So we're going to just go on the chase cam here with me, and you'll see that actually all that really happens here is we just kind of, I get on the grass a little bit there and just kind of drift into him, and that kind of pushes me across. And so you actually see when he comes across, he actually hits side Captain Muffin on the side, you know, almost as hard as what I hit him. So that was certainly by no means deliberate, and you're going to see throughout this race how I am constantly backing out and only ever taking a very conservative line through corners. I don't think at any point throughout the race I dive down into that final hairpin to try and make an overtaking move, because like I said, this is a 20 lap race, but all you want to do is stay in the slipstream. So you see as we speed it up here, on lap 5 I end up getting shuffled back to 5th place, which isn't a problem so long as you stay within kind of that 7 tenths of a second range. You stay in the slipstream and you can kind of catch up each time. And we just see that the driver here, Mr. Joshua behind, he just gets a little bump to the braking zone. So these are the kinds of things that I was trying to avoid by braking early for that final hairpin each time I was coming up behind any other driver. And used to say, I just give Joshua the hazard flash there just to say, hey, do call it. But actually, Mr. Joshua, we're going to drop him very quickly, so we get back up into the slipstream of the four ahead. They are fighting, and Metal Gear, he is coming from 5th place. He wants to get up to the lead of this pack and try and pull away if possible. So there we are, 6th lap, we go through the hairpin very carefully. I think I might have given Inxile a very small bump there, but more or less, the name of the game here is backing out of any kind of situation. You see there, I brake much earlier for this hairpin, just so that I don't get involved in any of these fights which are going on up ahead of me, because it's very easy to just pick up a small penalty here, or if you end up just having too much side-on contact with someone, you know, you can get a bit sideways, and once you lose that slipstream, it's going to be basically impossible to catch back up to this group. So here we are, we're already halfway through the race. I feel like I'm rambling a little bit here, but I am recording this very late at night, and so we come through the hairpin there, and I think, okay, yeah, so in this situation, what happened is I actually got shoved by a bug army there, and that put me into Inxile. And I think once again, Inxile thought that I was the one who was instigating that contact, but in this case, it was once again bug army. He was coming up the inside of me, just kind of pushed me, and we ping-ponged. So we speeded up once again. We're on the 12th lap here. We're just going to follow through behind this top four. They are fighting a little bit, kind of swapping places back and forth. Metal Gear does get out into the lead and leads for most of the race. And actually, I did notice that of kind of the 5 of us, sorry, it was mostly just myself and Metal Gear who were constantly taking the proper line through the final hairpin here, and it was the other guys who were much more inclined to, you know, go for the inside line and have all kinds of creative ways of trying to get out of that last corner, whereas yeah, I much preferred to just kind of hold back and not fight too much at this stage of the race, because we still have 7 laps to go. So speeding it up once more, we're going to come up here to lap 15, and I have Captain Muffin behind me. Now, I had Captain Muffin behind me in the first split of this race as well, and the first slot rather, and I knew from that race that he wasn't really willing to sit behind you and bump draft. So I saw that move coming. As soon as I had Captain Muffin behind me, I knew he was going to make a move, so I obviously wasn't fighting for it. And once again, we're here in 5th. We are just going to let them take each other out. As you see, Captain Muffin, he is up the inside. He wants to get back up into the lead, up into 2nd. I don't really know why, because you're not going to win the race at this point. You see Metal Gear up ahead. He has broken away just a little bit, but he's not going to have any slipstream. And so long as we work together, and okay, a little bit of a replay here. Once again, we have 3 people going into the corner, and Bug Army hits Captain Muffin, which puts him into Inxile. And so now as we start lap 17, you will see that Bug Army is actually just trying to nudge his way up the inside. He gets up onto the curb too much and falls out and hits Inxile on the exit. So now I'm up into 3rd place, and I think we're just going to have a replay of that. So we're riding on board with me from the chase cam, and you can see Bug Army there. He commented in the chat afterwards that he was there and that I should have supposedly given him space. I mean, I am just taking the racing line through there, and he is maybe, you know, inches up onto my inside, so it's really a case of he should have backed out of it. And in any case, he fell behind, whereas Inxile managed to keep up. So I think Bug Army must have made another mistake at some point, and then he just wants to blame me for him falling back. So you see Captain Muffin, he goes for the move here on lap 18. We're going to ride for these final 2 laps in real time, no more speeding it up. So with Captain Muffin going for that move, he was slow off of the final hairpin, and that got me up alongside him, but I didn't have enough speed to get past, and so I'm going to be stuck here on the outside for turn 1, and that allows Inxile to once again get up the inside. So what we're going to have to do is we just tuck back in, let him take the position, and we are in 4th as we come into these final 2 laps, which isn't necessarily a bad place to be. You want to be at the back, you do not want to be in the front. So this is why it confused me so much that these guys wanted to fight so much. And I'm actually quite amazed that Metal Gear was able to hold on to the lead for so long on this race. So as you see here, Inxile, he's going to take the inside line. It gives maybe Captain Muffin a little bit of a bump, and we're able to cleanly get past him on the overshoot. And so as we enter this final lap, we are in 3rd place, basically the prime position, because as we've seen throughout the race, Captain Muffin is going to have a go at it. So we have the insert here of the TV camera down in the bottom corner if you'd like to watch that. So we come around this first corner for the final time, trying to ride up onto the curve as much as possible. We'll stay in the slipstream, and we're going to have to defend probably from Inxile behind us. And yeah, as we come down to this hairpin for the final time. Let's see what happens. My strategy here was, I knew from practice races that if the two in front of you are going to fight, if they're going to go defensive, you just need to go to the outside of the track, take your normal line, and then sweep back. And that is exactly what we do. We get past Captain Muffin, and we actually have a really good run off of the corner. And so is Metal Gear going to push us wide, or is he going to give us space as we go through this final little chicane? He gives us the space, so it's now a run down to the line between Metal Gear and Meta Gear. Let that be confusing, and we cross over the line and actually take the victory in this FIA Nations race. So, wow, what a finish. I've just been speaking for, I think, about 10 minutes straight. It's middle of the night here, and this was probably mostly incoherent. I'm not going to go back and edit it. I just really wanted this video to speak for itself, to kind of clear my name, and yeah, so not bad for a number 2 driver, to quote Mark Webber, as he once said. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, hit like if you would like to follow along with my replay videos. The other ones are usually a lot better than this one, so check them out. Hit subscribe if you're so inclined, and yeah, we'll see you out on the racetrack next time. Bye for now.